Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us tmosso@the1916company.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for purchasing this or any of our watches. Reach out to tmosso@the1916company.com for pricing. Today, this is a real treat for me. A watch I have longed to present on this channel. The first dress watch from the great Lang Heyne of Dresden, Germany. This is Friedrich III. Named after Frederick III, Elector of Saxony, also known as Frederick the Wise. He was seated from 1463 to 1525, and like all Lang Heyne watches, it is named after an Elector of Saxony or a prince, sometimes one and the same. So what we have right here is a watch that is stainless steel, 39.2 millimeters in diameter, 10.7 millimeters thick, 46.1 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip, and then it has a proprietary triple junction. So I can't give you a conventional strap measurement, but you can see that the spacing is relatively narrow as you'd expect on a dress watch. Now in terms of how it fits, we'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters circumference and diameter, and you can see first and foremost it's a thin watch with a domed bezel, 10.7 millimeters thick. It will slide underneath the dress cuff. Also just over 46 millimeters lug to lug. This is a watch that's fairly narrow across the wrist. I would say it's even slightly below the average size of a modern dress watch, so it wears well on wrists as small as 14 centimeters circumference, and it might even be a viable unisex option for a lady with a flatter rather than round wrist. You can see the cuff shot easily clears a dress sleeve. The strap nicely made, large rectangular scale alligator leather with a matte finish, a monotone stitch, a folded edge. You can see it's in matte black. And then on the bottom, calfskin, brand new, no crimping, no gouging. This one is a Parisian-made Jean Rousseau strap. Taking a quick look, Lang Heyne, you have the name on the buckle and on the bottom of the buckle as well. And the strap is held to the case using screws and bars, which is a superior way of attaching a strap to a case, much more secure against accidental displacement than spring bars. And then you can see also screws and bars fixing it to the strap to make sure that these items are staying put. Now it's a relatively simple case design. You can see that the lugs jut out from the flank and they are tripled up. Everything is polished. The case is cylindrical. We have a little bit of an overlapping flange of the bezel. We have a small shoulder profile around the crown, which is vintage inspired and onion profiled. And then you can see a combination of polish and media blast with the company initials. The dial is made of sterling silver. You can see diamond cutting allows it to be downwardly stepped for the sub-seconds as well as the center dial. We have radially arrayed white Roman numerals, including a watchmaker's 4. There's a polished chaptering around the center dial as well as the small seconds, which features a lancet-style counterweighted seconds hand, and you can see a concentric pattern internally. There is a railroad-style track outboard for reading individual minutes, made in Saxony, and it is Eastern Germany, the traditional watchmaking heartland of Germany, but not in Glashütte. This is made in Dresden, and they proudly announced that on the dial. The hands are a modified pike style, and they feature a high ceram or white ceramic-based inlay, which is beautiful and lovely. And just so there is no confusion about this, it is not loom, it is ceramic. There is one subsidiary setting function, that is a hacking seconds function. Before we get to the back where things go absolutely ballistic, it is crazy back here. Taking a quick look, you could see that the movement, which is a caliber 6, is 33.5 millimeters in diameter, which means it is large and purpose-built for a modern watch, the ultimate sign of a true manufacturer. Now you can also see that it is ornately decorated. I believe Lang Heyne finish to be co-equally with maybe 2 or 3 other brands the best in the world. And you can see it starts over at the crown wheel and then the ratchet wheel. You can see they are both elaborately solarized, the ratchet wheel double solarized. Now take a close look at the teeth of both crown wheel and ratchet wheel. Micro beveling on their steel flanks, not easy to do. We have a black polished click and click spring. We have enormous fired blue screws. We also have black polished and chamfered screws with both slot and circumference chamfered. You could see in vintage style, all of the bridges have been frosted rather than striped. And then all of the characters on the base plate you can see are free-hand engraved. We have what Lang Heyne indicates is a gold balance cock, yes, solid gold, and it's been freehand engraved with volutes and sort of banknote scrolling. A black polished swan's neck fine adjustment mechanism, and then you could see a traditional large balance beating away at 2.5 hertz or 18,000 vibrations per hour with a blue to overcoil hairspring, so in any position it will keep very consistent time. The single large barrel endows it with 55 hours of power reserve. You could see little details like the wheel at center. Take a look at the inside of those spokes. Really, from that angle, you could see that they have been interior mirror polished and beveled, a rare art. You can also see that we have a lovely freestanding bridge at center with broad and mirrored chamfering. Excellent attention to detail here. Really special. They call this the trigonal bridge. And then we have little golden chaton cup fixed in place using blued screws, because that's how screws would have been used to fix jewels before it was possible to precisely press jewels into bridges and plates. So the golden chaton, an element of historic Saxon pocket watchmaking dating back to the 19th century. And while the rubies are synthetic, the diamond capstone atop the balance is real. All of this 30 meters water resistant and everyday wearable, as this is a steel watch. There's almost too much to say other than this is what I consider to be one of the top maybe 3, 4, 5 dress watches in the world from a brand I esteem second to none. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916 Company for purchase and pricing details.